to the garden. Well, I'm not a happy chappy today. In a recent video I showed how I was going through the greenhouse behind me thinning out our black Hamburg grapes. It's a really tedious process and it took me ages. As soon as I'd finished it, some blackbirds have gone in and started stripping the bunches. Now that grape does start to develop a little bit of colour pretty early in its development, and they've gone through and well, some bunches have been almost completely stripped, others are more or less intact, and we've got everything in between. It's a bit of a nightmare. Now I'm thinking about it, perhaps it's a little odd that this has never happened before, but we've had the occasional peck, but most of the bunches have been left completely alone, so I don't know, it's a little bit odd. But the other annoying thing is that they take them when they are so small and sour. There's just no chance for us to get any if we don't protect them. Now I can net the doorway here, that's not a problem, but they will just go straight through the open vents. And we've got quite a lot of vents on these greenhouses here. So my wife came up with a natty idea. So you can see on this bunch, and these grapes they're nowhere near their full size, and they won't actually be ripe for weeks yet, but they've stripped all but 3 off of this bunch, completely destroyed it. On the other hand, we've got a bunch here that is more or less intact. This one's not too bad. I think this might actually be the one I used on the grape thinning video. Its neighbour though, wow, lots of that has been stripped, and this is really quite frustrating. So I've been using these small organza bags for bagging flowers that I don't want to get pollinated. So if I'm seed saving and I want to keep the pollinators away from a particular blossom, you just cover them over and pull the drawstring. These are the sort of baggies that you can, I think they use to keep jewellery in, or make up little gift bags. Not really my sort of thing, but they are dead handy for this purpose. They're made from a very fine material, so pollinating insects don't get through it, and nor will the beak of a blackbird. So when this happened and I was scratching my head as to how we might protect what's left, I said, could I use these and bag the bunches? Now I've never done that before, so I don't know if there are any drawbacks to doing it this way. Obviously it will provide a small amount of shading. I suppose not much. This is a very fine material, so I don't know, it'd be interesting to see how well this works, but I'm pretty sure it will defeat the blackbirds, and that's the main idea. Now this bag is a little bit on the small side. We did ram those bunches into these, and some bunches we needed sort of more than one bag to cover them, but I bought some bigger ones and I think they're going to do a much better job. So I'm going to go through this greenhouse and take off those small bags, put a larger one on, and I know half of this crop is gone, maybe more than half, but in the other greenhouse, I've got the muscat grapes, and they're not going to start ripening until much later in the year. The bunches are also quite long, so I've then bought these really big bags. This is a 40 by 30, and I'm going to get those on the muscat grapes and protect them well ahead of time. I'm afraid the horse has already bolted here, but we've got a chance to save the others. So these are quite nice bunches. They're pretty big actually. I might need to come through and remove a few of these, but all I need to do is just slip this, untangle them, slip this bag over, and then just pull that drawstring. And hopefully, there we have one protected bunch of grapes. It'll be interesting to see whether this has any negative effect on the bunch. I'm not sure it's going to. It's so fine, but we will find out in due course. This muscat grape, it needs a really long season in order to ripen properly. The bunches are quite loose, as you can see. They're all sort of just hanging down with plenty of space between them. So these grapes have got a lot more growing to do. But if they do ripen, they turn a beautiful amber colour, and the flavour then is fantastic. Well, we'll see if we get anything decent this year. It really does depend on a pretty good autumn, I think, because the start of the year was so bad, and these will be undoubtedly quite a long way behind. Well, the problem with bird damage is that as soon as they find a source of food, they're going to return to it time and time again until it's all gone. And if I hadn't covered these, there would be nothing left. So if this experiment works out okay and the grapes develop fine in those baggies, I don't really see why they wouldn't. Then I shall do this as a matter of routine each year. As I said, I've never had to do it before. We've not had that amount of damage, but these blackbirds this year are persistent little blighters. So yeah, it looks like more covering is required. I think maybe I should just build this garden inside a massive tent. But anyway, that is all for this video. Thanks very much for watching, and bye for now.